Why is it that the more you try to manifest something, the less you'll bring it into your reality? And why is it that when you do try to manifest, it incorporates the vibration of lack, that you already do not have the thing? Now, there is the backwards law by Alan Watts. Essentially, if you try to think more positive, thinking that you'll get more positive, trying to use the law of attraction, right? So you focus on thinking more positive, yet you end up thinking more negative. Why is that? Right? And finally, here's the example. Finally, when you let go of that ex, when you finally get over her or him and you're moving on and you're happy and you're feeling love, you're feeling that sweet desire of love within your heart, in your mind, and everywhere you look, you're just enthralled, enticed with life. That feeling. Then your ex comes running back. You ever had that happen? Because I have. When you finally move on, then they want you back. Why? Because you stop sending them energy. You stop wanting them. You stop trying to get them back. You stop trying to think positive. And you just became positive. You became full of love. So, and this love didn't just stem from within. The thing is, you can't look, let's get this straight. You can't trick the universe. All right? Because you are the universe. So all of this is about self-mastery. Law of attraction is about self-mastery. So if you're going to go ahead and go put on a fake smile in front of a mirror, I mean, yeah, in the physical reality, the mirror will. You'll see your smile, right? Except the truth is, the universe's mirror is still frowning back at you. Because it knows. You know how you really feel about yourself. Even if you haven't gone through those deep inner layers yet to really find out. It's all those things that are keeping you in a frown in the mirror that stop you from getting what you want and being positive. The areas you're not willing to look within. The fire you're not willing to step through because it may burn. Ouch. Shadow work hurts sometimes because you're opening up areas where you were wounded before. And it's about shining lights to see the shadow, to see that wound of pain and showing gratitude to it, feeling the feeling, find out what you need to feel to release it. Because guess what? That love that you now feel that wasn't yours to begin with, you're gaining from someone else. That feeling somebody else is creating for you and you're not creating it yourself. In a sense, now that you're getting it, the codependency of it, of, oh yeah, I'm in a relationship, I don't need the other person now. Great. What happens when that relationship ends to your new one? Well, you're back at where you started without feeling that love. Now, not recently, it was like last year, I had this wonderful woman step into my life, very pleasant. And although she had some stuff that, I set boundaries around, didn't work out, the relationship dissolved very quickly because I just had gotten out of a relationship with what I learned was somebody who was a covert narcissist. And narcissists, by the way, they're not like bad people. Like, they're not like, maybe the things they do aren't so pleasant, right? But they're not waking up each and every day thinking, how can I manipulate people? How can I get ruin people's lives? Like, no, they're actually thinking like the kind of the same thing. Like, how can I, survive? Which is on their mind. How can I survive through all the pain and all the BS and the shadow that I'm not willing to heal? And because it reflects their image of all the past shit they've done to people. Right? So it's hard for them to look within. However, like, they're hurt and deeply wounded humans themselves. And the person that I dated prior to this other person, she was deeply wounded. And I tried to fulfill this like hero role is what I found out I stepped into by loving and enabling all of her stuff, and I never heard the end of the sob stories. It was nuts. And when it came to like getting her a therapist because she wanted one so bad, and we interrupt this broadcast for the halftime show. Yay! I'm here to just give you a quick warning. We're about to go into a rabbit hole. However, it will make full sense and it will become full circle. So please bear with me towards the end. This will also express and show you why your need for love or that perfect relationship or marriage is the reason why you will be willing to tolerate unhealthy, toxic people, and they'll keep showing up in your reality. And just in general, whatever is harboring deep within that you're refusing to look at is what's going to be reflected into your reality. And also, this ex of mine did not go see a therapist. I actually ended up scheduling appointments for her, and she canceled and rescheduled them because she was not willing to do the inner work. And part of this rabbit hole we're about to go in is you'll get an understanding of why she was afraid to do the inner work, because sometimes you have to look within and also see the aspects of you that you don't like in order to release them so you can attract the life that you prefer. And now the moment we've all been waiting for, back to the show. Getting her a therapist because she wanted one so bad. I got one too for myself, for my own personal traumas, and to see like how I can communicate better in the relationship, because apparently anything I ever said to her, it was my fault. Everything was always reflected back to me. It's like I'm the one causing all of it. And it's like, no, like you literally, she was physically abusive at one point too. It's like, and she denied it over and over. And then finally, during the conversation after it happened, which was the next day, like I kept talking to her about it. And then I say this in my other videos, except finally when I dug in and, you know, I still stayed in that relationship afterwards, trying to love her, trying to do the best. I should have left. It's part of the learning experience on earth. My point of all of this is finally she admitted it, and she said that I deserved it, even though I didn't. She got jealous and then just kept asking me, why am I talking to this person? Blah, blah, blah. I showed her all the messages. This is just somebody that I went on one date with, and we were kind of still friends. I was checking on her. She wasn't doing so good when I first met her, and it looked like she just got into like photography, a passion, right? And my ex too, by the way, she would always be talking to all of her exes and stuff, and I'd always catch her doing weird, talking to people, like, I don't know, tons of new guys constantly on her phone that I've never seen. I'm like, I'm just playing along, trusting her, right? Anyway, my point is, narcissists don't exactly wake up thinking, how can I ruin people's lives? They're thinking, how can I survive? Because she was deeply wounded. She did have some unconsensual things happen to her. So she keeps trying to survive. Even though I gave my best in that relationship, she still couldn't recognize it as someone healthy. And that's part of the inner work. If you find someone that you are not in alignment with, or it doesn't feel familiar to what you're used to tolerating in your reality, like if you had a controlling parent or an abusive parent, you're probably going to seek people that give you a familiar sense of control. This covert narcissistic ex of mine was very controlling. And no matter what I did, it was never enough. And there was something so familiar about that. I don't know why I got onto this. I literally just woke up. Coffee sessions. By the way, I have a coffee with me, Vency, your divine feminine empowerment and spiritual awakening coach. Back to this thing real quick. So, why did I bring up the other woman? There was something about like manifesting and blah, blah, blah. We'll get back to it, I think. Hopefully. The new one. Why did I go on that? It's okay. Well, it comes back up. It will. So, couple things, right? And there was a point of this relationship stuff because This is part of the inner work. It's like sometimes it hurts to look within, and it burns. Right? Now, what did I do to get physically abused? Well, because my ex kept asking, I also have to look within myself. Like, what areas in my life did I play a role in where something like this happened? Or like, I still have to look. So either way, I ended up telling her, I was like, oh, because she kept asking me like 3 times, why are you talking to her? And I explained to her clearly what I had mentioned, like she's getting into photography. Here's the messages you can look, and then she would still just keep trying to like pull me into this like crazy loop. And I 3 times, and I explained it to her 3 times clearly, and then finally, like on the 4th time, I'm like, because I wanted her attention. Is that what you wanted to hear? Then she ran up on me and like hit me and shoved me and stuff. So either way, like, I see where, I kind of, I don't know, antagonized, I guess. I mean, I did something inauthentic to myself, by doing that and feeding into it. Like, however, that was her point, is like, it was my fault for saying that. And that's why I deserve to be hit. Like, that's what she's like, why do you think that happened? Because you poked the bear, right? Well, that's actually what she told me in that conversation, which I didn't deserve any of it. Like, that was her reaction to all of her own pain and suffering. So when through this, she was afraid to look at her own shadow on where she hurt me. That's why she kept denying it happening, and then finally like agreed to it, but then also pinned it on me that I deserved it. Like it was my fault. And like I actually felt like it was. That's the craziest part about it. Right? Except if you're not willing to step through that fire and look at all the things that where you've hurt people that you're keeping in your energetic magnetic bubble of vibration, that's all those feelings and stuff you've stuffed away that are running on train tracks, on engines. Well, they're running on engines on train tracks, like a chugga choo choo train. That's what it's like when you keep things that are locked in and suppressed, that you haven't fully released. So when you go to that mirror and you haven't released these things that are actually keeping a frown inside of you, that mirror is not going to shift to positive. It's not going to shift to positive thinking. That's why the inner work is so important, because the law of attraction, and this is from the channelings of Bashar, it's not about trying to manifest or bring forth the things that you want. It's about getting rid of that human baggage that you've picked up, which are all this like pain and suffering and feelings and fears and beliefs that aren't truly aligned, because what's rating at your natural core soul frequency is naturally going to come attracted to you. All the things that you want, because the reason why you want them is because they're naturally radiating from you. So once you let go of all that, it's about releasing the things that you don't prefer, then the things in your reality come to you. And manifestation means to become a vibrational match to things. And once you do, then it becomes visible. That's what manifestation means. It then becomes visible once you raise your vibration. Right, I have this coffee cup. Raise your vibration to right here. Then you can have the coffee. Right? You got to take some action though. Like I had to boil water. Yeah, I used the normal kettle. And I made a French press. Actually, French press broke, so I had to like strain the coffee and get all scientific-y with it, right? I had fun doing it though. And I made some really good coffee. I got like 2 pitchers and like strainer filters back there on the kitchen counter, like going ham. I have my espresso machine. I need to clean it. It's been like, it says to decalcify it, and I just keep avoiding doing it. However, this is really good coffee too. Moines on why this backwards law works this way is because of the attachments and beliefs that you hold around something. That's why when you finally let go of the ex and you finally feel that love, right? Like we're going back to this full circle, then it comes and shows up. It's because you're emanating it from within. So back to this relationship thing, it's like if that person, your new relationship, that person leaves, how are you feeling? Are you sad or are you good to go? And that's the same thing. And that's now I remember why I brought up that, a year ago relationship, the new one that was pleasant in ways, right? It didn't work out though, just because like I had learned how to set boundaries. I knew what I wanted and I was already happy. And she just showed up magically. Like it just all aligned. And thing is though, is like even after we, separated, we weren't really like in a relationship, like we were dating. Um, but like there was like some stuff that she was doing that I was like not okay with. And I found like some areas that she wasn't fully honest, which I was totally okay with though. Um, Except we did talk about it, and I was like, all right, well, I don't think this is gonna work out because this is not what I prefer. And it was funny because like as soon as I said that, and then she's like, oh, actually, I was gonna like tell you that, and I'm like, okay. So that's like a defense thing, right? It's like, why? Why didn't you just accept it as it is, as I'm telling you this, except you had to like try to swing it the other way, like it wasn't gonna work out. So that was one of the things I didn't like, and I was like, oh, even more the reason why. So, point is that relationship after it ended, and this person presented a lot of things that I liked, and a lot of kinky, fun stuff. So, either way, point is, when that relationship dissolved, I was still okay. Although it did hurt though, because this person was like a muscle mommy, super hottie, and like fun and exciting, and it was good. Except what I also learned is covert narcissists also like to go straight into sexuality, and they'll spoil and pamper you right away. Like they'll give you and you'll hear everything that you want to hear, so they can have their way with you and latch you on. So it's possible she was one, and maybe I learned from it. Either way, though, even after that, I was a little upset and sad because I was like, oh man, this person basically was offering everything I wanted. Well, guess what? My ex did too. However, I was already busy in alignment working on art, music, EDM production. Probably hear my own track, Adore You. I made that one in the start, in the intro, and in my little I'm your spiritual coach thingy. Anyway. Either way, I still managed to be happy either way. Like that's the point. And I had to feel the feelings and what I was feeling to release them. And sometimes it may not be in alignment for your journey to have a relationship right away. Sometimes it's in alignment to do the inner work. It has to be relevant. That's why it's so important to continuously keep doing the inner work and find out what you're holding on to that's keeping your abundance, your love, your freedom away. Sometimes it's part of the process to learn how to set boundaries or express stuff to your parents on how they're making you feel. Well, don't even say making you feel, because that's giving them power. If somebody ever makes you feel a certain way, you just gave them power over your emotions. It's actually you choose to feel however you want to feel whenever whatever situation is showing up. That's a choice. You can actually shift your emotions instantly. You can choose how you want to feel. We have power over our emotions. We just believe, given a scenario, that we don't have that kind of power. We choose to believe we need to feel a certain way during a situation, and that's a belief. You can literally pull yourself away in your head for any conversation, anything that's showing up, and just be like, okay, honor it. I feel X, and I choose to believe I feel this way. So I'd rather feel happy. And I'm going to choose to believe I need to feel that way. And you can, right? You could be like smiling when somebody's bringing up upsetting news to you, or they're being rude or something. And you can just be actually genuinely happy. Because you're in love with life. You're in love with this whole process. You're in love with the human experience. And I speak a lot about spirituality and higher selves and sometimes aliens. And I'm nowhere near trying to get you to pull yourself away from the human experience. Everybody's always trying to run away and escapism from reality. to like be a divine being. It's like you already are. The whole point is to have this experience with limitations so you can grow and expand your consciousness. The whole point of the universe is consciousness. Like, look how well this foundation was set up for us, how much variety we get to experience. Like, the human body is literally a biological machine. When I was in nursing school, I realized that. Like, everything, the way waste goes through the systems, like endocrine systems, like the whole body just in general, like cells, like perfect amount of energy is being produced. And like, dude, it's wild. Biological machine. I'm like, somebody created this. So, man, I did not want to make a 19-minute video. I was thinking I'm going to make like a 4-minute one. We really kind of got off the rails. I hope you're enjoying this. I had a couple more things I wanted to express. I was for sure not planning to get on this like whole like X thing. I just felt like it was important because, again, the whole point is like after that relationship ends, whether if you're getting the love from somebody else, the point is are you strong enough on your own to still feel love? Can you still feel that? Being in love with life, being in love with yourself, being in love with just being. It's called unconditional love because without the condition needing to change, you can stay in the vibration of love. Unconditional happiness. Unconditional means without the condition, with or without the partner. You can feel that way. Can you? Ask yourself that. Yeah, it's a little tough. However, I mean, even for me, right? Because it is way different when you have someone in your physical reality actually adoring you and loving you and kissing up on you and cuddling you. I know. Except you can still feel those feelings. You can even take in a memory of someone doing that and you can just remember what that feels like and just hold on to that feeling. You don't have to hold on to that person and the negative stuff they've done to you. And if you ever look back at a memory ever and you feel anger or upsetty spaghettiness, right? Well, guess what? You have feelings there that are keeping a frowny face in your reality, in your energetic magnetic bubble, and it'll keep showing up in your reality until you let it go. So manifesting and manipulation are very similar because of the fact that you're trying to manipulate the universe to fit your needs rather than looking within and finding out, what am I missing? What do I feel like I'm missing? Maybe it's the realization that mom and dad didn't love you the way you wanted to be loved. They didn't know any better. Doesn't make anything they've ever done right to you, whether they abused you or whatever. It just means that they didn't know how to love you. It's not your fault that they couldn't love you the way you deserve to be. So now you have the opportunity to love yourself the way you deserve to be loved. Show up for yourself. And if you watch this far in this video, you're on this self-help journey. And you want better in your life. And the thing is, people are addicted to like those epiphanies. I got this from a Julian Blanc video. Dude, he's like one of my favorite self-help coaches. So direct, so raw. And the epiphany, and I did too, you'd scroll on Instagram and be like, oh yeah, no, yeah, oh yeah, totally, yeah, like, totally, that's how I feel right now. Like, just on your phone, going ham sandwich, right? Like, oh, yup, 100%. Oh yeah, so much sense. And then it's like the next day goes by and it's like the epiphany gone, right? And then you just keep doing it over and over. And then eventually you spend like a year or two, and I did, of like just scrolling, gaining information. Even like me, I watched Abraham Hicks videos for 3 years. Well, I think it was like 2 years every single morning until I started creating content around it and realizing it and putting it to use. And I kept having these epiphanies, right? And then finally I started, put it in the work. So it's integrating. It's integration. It's reprogramming yourself. So consistently reprogram yourself with information that's going to get you to where you want to be. Because once you really have reached the place of self-mastery, of positivity, because you're just happy to be happy, because you're unconditionally happy, then your reality will shift. then the reflection in the mirror will turn into a smiley face because you're not lying to yourself. And you can't be like a covert narcissist hiding from it. And guess what? Narcissists, they eventually get exposed. They burn out. Everything comes crashing down because they will never have healthy relationships. And I don't know what that looks like at the end of that. However, they'll either have to step through the fire, and I hope they do, because I genuinely want people to have the best in their life. Like my ex. I unconditionally love her. Doesn't make anything she did right to me. Anything she did to me right just means I want the best for her. It's actually funny because she was like on my mom's phone plan still, like on her family plan, even after we broke up. And then there was like a few months where, quite a few months, it was like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 months, where she just kept missing the phone payment for her own phone. And my mom was like, she was like talking to me about it. And I'm like, I don't know. I know she'll pay you or something. Like, and if she doesn't, then I'll just cancel her off the thing eventually. And she didn't for like 2 months in a row, a couple months that kept happening. And like, it was like some kind of issue she was having. We don't know. Either way, my mom was like, I'm tired of this. Like, I want to go cancel her phone or whatever. So me and my mom went to T-Mobile and found out the options, and she could like lock her phone, like the IME, because at the time that phone wasn't fully paid off either. And my mom had, paid for everything up front, or it's on her plan, I guess. And I just kept telling my mom, like, all right, well, now you have your options. Now you know what you can do. You can have her wait till she pays off her phone. You can release the phone to her. Or you can lock it and you can cancel her off the plan. And it's like, maybe you'll get the phone back, maybe you won't. Either way, if you want to go ahead and do something negative to her, like, I don't think we should do that. I'm like, just let her be. Like, and I literally told my mom this, like, I know she struggled a lot in her life, and I know sometimes she gets in really bad places. And I think we should just wait it out and see what happens. And we kept waiting it out, and eventually, like a few more months, she ended up paying off the phone, paid all the money on the months that she owed, and my mom released the phone to her. And that was it. So I'm actually really, because my mom really wanted to like cancel it. She would just keep complaining to me about it, and I was just like, no, it's like, let's just see what happens, So it's like, and I'm glad, because now she has a phone and stuff. Like, I don't talk to her, right? And either way, though, it's like I still want the best for people. It's like I could have been, spiteful or vengeful and rude and been like, yeah, mom, let's just lock her phone, because a part of me wanted to. I'm not gonna lie. A part of me wanted to kind of do some bad stuff and be like, let's just lock her phone, and then she won't even have service type stuff, right? But then I was like, nah, dude, that's so messed up. Like, and that's the thing, is like admitting even those dark sides of you, and then you get to choose. The beautiful thing is like you get to choose. Those, what are they called? Introvert thoughts? Intricate thought? No, dude, it's dude, do you know the word for it? It's OMG. Intrusive thoughts. Those ones. Either way, like, the thing is you get to choose. And I wanted to go with compassion. A part of me was hurting. A part of me was, and I realized that through that whole locking the phone process thing, right? I was like, wow, that part of me is still hurting. It's okay. Like, I know what she did wasn't okay. However, we're not going to be that way. I'm choosing not to be like that. And it feels so much better to lead with love. So once you can step into that vibration of self-mastery and lead with love and be able to stay in that vibration no matter what, you still got to look through the inner self. So that's why you can't manifest things, because if you're not willing to look within and release the things that you don't prefer, that you're holding on to of fear and struggle, it's just not going to happen. Beliefs on why you're poor, or your money or things don't work out for you. Like, if you don't look within and find out where those stemming from and why you have that belief running on a train track, on a train going chugga chugga choo choo, if you don't release it, nothing will attract to you. And you guess what? You can't try to like do this stuff. Like, you can't try, like, again, you can't pretend to be positive and expect positive. Like, you can't do this and pretend that you're releasing this stuff just to get the outcome of manifesting your dream reality. It's a genuine end of itself. Like, I actually want to feel better. I want to feel good. I want to feel good no matter what. That's the place you want to get to. This is an advanced place. Because I'm not 100% there. I'm pretty close to it. And you know what happens in situations? I catch myself now very quickly, and I'm like, okay, how do I want to respond? I'm not reacting to my emotions. If I feel a reaction, there's something within me that's triggered saying, hey, what here do I not like? Okay, I see that. It's okay. This is going to benefit me anyway. And I start looking at the gratitude and the positives. And I take things on from a loving place. Even when situations become fearful, and I sit with myself and I think, well, I'm an eternal spiritual being either way, and I'm here to experience stuff, and we're here for a very temporary time, so I might as well enjoy this. Why do I want to spend any extra seconds being upset or angry or sad or depressed when I don't have to anymore? It's about responding to your reality rather than reacting. And reactions are things that you've picked up, that you're used to, that thing, that's just that's your ego, the past version of you trying to hold on to the past of habits and beliefs. So find out what that is, release those just because you want to, just because you want to be happy. It's basically becoming a monk. Like, you're just like, in bliss and awe and enjoyment. It doesn't matter because you're in love with life. If you can do that, any step and action you take towards anything, and if you want to create a business or whatever it is, you'll be moving in alignment because it's true to what you want. It's true to your core frequency. You're not going to start a business thinking, oh, I'm going to do this for the money and blah, blah, blah. And then eventually, maybe it does work out and then you're not happy again. Or you pivot like halfway through and just give up because it's like you find out it's not really what you want to do. And that's all okay. It's all experiences. It's all contrast. That's part of following your highest excitement. If you're doing so in alignment, you'll realize that things benefit you anyway. Maybe you start a new business. However, it's better to move from a place of aligned action of where you have already done a lot of the inner work and you know what you want to share with the world, whether if it is a product or a service. So you can become abundant by living your life and shining your light and becoming a lighthouse for others, if that so be the case. This is the journey I'm on, and I invite you to join me on my journey. Join me. Hit that like and subscribe button, and then the notification bell. So I don't know why I did that. Yeah, hit that notification bell so that way you're notified when more of my content does come out. But you get the point. 33-minute long video. Yo, I hope you're having fun. Yo. Damn. I realize they're kind of maybe reflective and I don't really want to wear the sunglasses. Either way, see, step into vulnerability, aligned action, and you got to find inner peace, inner tranquility. It's not about trying to manifest things. Those things, here's the thing. Truth is, everything you want will come to you. What you want is seeking you. I think that's a quote from Rumi. I've never even heard any of the Rumi stuff. I think I heard it from another video. I've heard the Rumi oracle cards from tarot card readers and stuff. Either way, though, what you want is seeking you. Except if you're going to keep putting all these things and block what's seeking you, because you're putting your attention elsewhere, you're not seeing, you're not, well, you probably should go through your shadows and stuff and the blocks to get rid of them. But it's like if you keep running those on a train track, you'll never get there. Okay, and let me show you what the difference is. So here's actually the real key. I actually wanted to bring this up, and then I'm done, okay? Then this long-ass video. So it's about reaching a place of neutrality with things, whether if they are fearful or scary. And it's about from that neutral point, instead of reacting to the fear of something that you don't prefer in your reality, whatever it is, health condition, toxic lover, or whatever. Because when you act from a clear mind too, things happen in a much better way. Here's the thing though. It's not about detachment. If you ever heard about this, like, oh, you need to detach. It's like, stop caring about what other people think or stop doing this. It's like, no, a part of that actually is implying that you do care and you're just trying to nip it at the bud or whatever. Like you're just trying to stop it very quickly and you're trying to not feel the feelings that are making you like that you choose to feel about something in a way like that doesn't feel good. Like you're just trying to get rid of it really quickly and you're trying to be non-attached. Like, oh, person's opinion of my shirt or my, dope robe here. It's like, oh, whatever. I'm just being myself and like showing up to the fullest expression of me. Like, yeah, no, actually, truly, it's like, oh, well, that, it may suck if somebody does something really negative or says something negative about the robe. It's like, okay, well, I'm glad you have an opinion. I'm glad you have contrast in your life to know what you prefer. Like there's ways to look at this, right? There's ways to look at this with gratitude. And I'm glad you were able to be vulnerable and express your truth, right? But I'm not going to cut it off and be like, oh, I'm just being myself, like whatever that guy thinks. It's like, yeah, maybe it did hurt a little bit. I love this robe, right? And it's like, oh, somebody else doesn't like it. Well, it's coming in a place of seeking to understand and understanding your feelings. And that's okay. It's like not everybody's going to like you. And the moment everybody loves you is the moment you're the fakest person on the planet. Like what's your favorite color? Me too. Hey, other person, what's your favorite color? Me too. It's like you keep doing that and it's fake. The real you is going to be polarizing. So reaching a place of neutrality, just like this brush, right? Like if look at all the hairs. It's like it's a brush, right? It's not very important. It's a neutral brush, right? I use it for my hair. And it's like, well, what if I lost this brush? Well, I have no sentimental value to it. I can go get a new one, right? No big deal. But if I had like sentimental value and stuff, I might be a little attached to it, right? It's going to be a little difficult to just get another one because like, oh, this is the best brush in the world. Like, no, it's like you can reach a place of non-attachment, except you can still be engaged that you lost the brush. It's like, it's okay that it happened. You're not going to freak out. You're still staying in an unconditional vibration, which you choose. That's self-mastery because you're choosing it. So whatever's happening is like, yeah, feel the feelings like, oh yeah, that did kind of hurt, yet I'm not attached to it because I know strongly how I want to feel about my robe. I love this robe, right? So it's about you. Nothing is outside of you. The lover, the abundance is having what you need when you need it. So as long as you can stay non-attached to things and not put things on a pedestal and want them so bad, like things will just naturally come into your reality because you're allowing it. You're allowing the natural flow of things. You're allowing miracles to be the natural order of the world, which they are. Not having them as the exception. Like miracles are not an exception. Oh, miracles. No, they're a natural thing. Like they're actually the natural order. It's the belief that you put on why you're blocking yourself from receiving everything that you want. It's all those beliefs, all that inner work you haven't done. Backwards law. You're trying to put on a fake smile so you're gonna get what you want. It's like the universe, and it's like a bank, right? Oh, I just thought this is beautiful. I know I said I was gonna be done, but this is really good here. So let's think of it as like a bank door, right? You're at the universe bank, and like everything you want is on the other side of that. You can just have access to it. All you got to do is really be just in alignment with yourself and be happy, like genuinely happy. And you just go there and you're not so happy, and you're like putting on a fake smile, and it scans your face, and it's like, nope. So what do you do? Well, if you think about it that way, what are you going to do? Well, looks like that's reflecting to you that there's areas in your life that you may want to work through. So they call it inner work. That's why they call it integration. If you watch this far into a video like this, you are starting to integrate. You're reprogramming your mind with consistent things that'll help you get to where you want to be, because deep inside is a layer of pain and suffering in areas that you haven't let go of, you haven't felt. You gotta find out what you need to feel to release it and let it be there. The beauty of all this is you get to accept what is. Like if something shows up, if you can't accept what it is right away, just allow it to be. Non-attached. You're non-attached. You're in a neutral place about it. Allow the thing to be, and don't feed into its fear or its struggle or its pain. And then simply counter-react it. Start finding stuff that do feel good, so we can get back into that vibration, right? Let it be. Put your attention elsewhere, and maybe come back to it and feel it. Like you can take time with things. That's the whole point of all this. All right, for real. Have a wonderful, magnificent, transformative, alchemizing day. Beautiful cosmic soul. Let me know anything you want to tell me in the comments. I love reading comments, by the way, and I love replying to them. And let me know if there's anything I can assist you with. Maybe let me know how your day's going, or what your favorite color is. All right, love and light vibration out. Bye.